I can smell that campfire burning from over here. There's a gobbler on the ridge top, he's hammering back at me. When the sun comes up, he'll be coming in on a string. I'm just a blue-collar redneck working man, feeding my family off the good Lord's land. This digging string's the only thing I need. My grandpa taught me how to live like this, how to track a deer, how to clean a fish. So raise your hand if you believe in a working class hunting man like me. I work a factory job from 7 to 3, but there's one special place I'd rather be, far away from the city where the backwoods are calling me. If I'm in my deer stand or fishing, oh, it's a part of me, it's in my soul. From an early age, everybody knew what I'd be. Yeah, a working class, a hunting man like me.
Sun busts the sky wide open, smell of fall floating in the air, while the traffic's piling up on the 410. We're dreaming about what's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. We're just a working class, simple man from them podunk towns to the metropolis. All for one and one for all, from the backwoods to them city halls. We're American rebels, the country hicks, young guns, geezers, and some city slicks, busting it down these old country roads to the fields and hollers in our 4x4. Just hunting for a part of us that runs wild and free, yeah, man. We're just a bunch of working class. Whitetail buck running hard just to catch her, a long-bearded gobbler coming off the roost, yeah. Well, it might sound crazy that it's all we live for, 'cause every chance we get, we wanna be Daniel Boone, oh yeah. We're just a working class, simple men from the podunk towns of the metropolis. All for one and one for all, from the backwoods to them city halls. We're American rebels, the country hicks, young guns, geezers, and some city slicks, busting it down these old country roads to the fields and hollers in our 4x4. Just hunting for a part of us that runs wild and free, yeah, man. We're just a bunch of working class. Class hunter, working class farmer, working class son and a working class daughter, a working class small business owner and a working class big old high roller, working class mom, a working class daddy, a working class bless of heart, sweet granny. Yeah, we all just working class, simple men from them podunk towns to the metropolis. All for one and one for all, from the backwoods to them city halls. We're American rebels, the country hicks, young guns, geezers, and some city slicks, busting it down these old country roads to the fields and the hollers in our 4x4. Just hunting for a part of us that runs wild and free, yeah, man. Wild and free, yeah, man. bunch of working class, yeah, just a bunch of working class.
I'm going to try a little bit of the scrape ridge gel right on his back. It's kind of an intruder buck. I know I've got a couple mature bucks in here. Maybe this will help us out a little bit. All right. October 30th. It's a new moon, and it's about 20 degrees colder than it was yesterday. It's still warm. It's 55 degrees outside. Real feels about 45 to 50. But that's 20 degrees colder than it was yesterday, actually 25 degrees. It was hot, hot, hot yesterday. And over the weekend, it's just, we've had very slow movement, so I'm hoping these temperatures will get them up on their feet a little bit earlier tonight. My stand that I'm at is positioned pretty close to some bedding area, and I'm gonna decoy it tonight. I've got my boss buck decoy sitting out here, and I'm gonna try to rattle and grunt and see if I can get them to come in and check it out.
In association with country music artist Corey Farlow, music available for download at iTunes, Amazon, and all online retailers, and visit CoreyFarlowCountry.com.
I just want to talk a little bit about a buck that I've got on my property. He's an 8-point, really, really tall, good mass. He's definitely mature. Last weekend, Saturday morning, I had him come in at 33 yards. He stopped right in my shooting lanes, but there were so many leaves on the trees that I didn't even see him coming in, and it was too late. I couldn't move once he was in the lane. So, I know he's been using my property really heavily. Up until last week when I checked my trail cameras, I had 60 different sets of trail cam pictures of that buck since September 28th, which was the first time I had seen him. October 30th. We had a bit of a cold front come in. It dropped about 20 degrees from what it was yesterday. It was 81 degrees yesterday. I decided to come out this evening. It wasn't a perfect wind to hunt where I would typically be hunting, so I moved into this stand. Decided to grab my decoy. I had it stashed over here in my blind. Carried it in, set it all up. Put some J&S scents, intruder buck right on the top of him. In fact, you can see the scent crystal sitting right on top of that decoy. And I had grunted a few times earlier, did a rattle, and then 2 grunts. And it was probably 15 minutes later. I heard, basically, it wasn't a snort wheeze, but it was a blow twice. I heard it blow twice. I assumed it was probably a doe, but I went ahead and turned my cameras on and got ready. And I'll be darned if it wasn't him. He must have seen that decoy while he was cruising over here in this timber. And he worked his way straight to the west and then came straight up here. Well, where I'm set up, he couldn't make a big circle around the decoy, so he was blocked in. He had to come straight at it. And he just walked right in here. And my decoy is just under 18 yards. And he walked in at 10 or 12 yards. And as soon as he cleared this fence post, I let it go. And that's Tall Boy. He's here. He's the one I came in here after, and he's the one I got. Oh man, super excited. Well, here's Tall Boy. You know, he's an interesting buck for me. And like I said before, he didn't show up until October 28th, which is kind of starting to be a pattern on my property. You know, I hunt 40 acres, and so when you're hunting a small piece of property like that, you know, you can't expect bucks to, you know, basically make that their home range year round. So what I found is I can run trail cameras all spring and summer, and nothing, you know, nothing really shows up, or if they do, typically by the time they shed their velvet, they're gone. And, you know, that's kind of disappointing when you're running trail cameras. So, you know, you get really excited and you got nice bucks, and all of a sudden they just disappear and you never see them again. Well, over the last few years, the exact opposite's been happening on my property. I've had nothing to speak of all spring and summer. And then, you know, come basically October, they start to move in, establish a home territory, and typically I end up with 1 or 2 really good bucks. And you know, like I said, you know, in the intro, this was the one that I was really after. I had an encounter with him last Saturday, and you know, 33 yards, but there was still too many leaves on the trees, and I just couldn't get myself set to get a shot on him, and you know, it just didn't work out. So I targeted him. I said, this is the buck that I want to get. And you know, it only took me one more hunt, which is definitely not typical for me. Usually I have to hunt pretty hard to get those encounters. Like I said, you know, 40 acres, they're going to be passing through. So, you know, they may be on a 3-day cycle. And the question is whether or not I'm on the same 3-day cycle they are. But anyway, this deer, you know, he came in. There was no doubt about it that he was you know, trying to establish his dominance in this territory. He came into that decoy, he was going to tear it up, you know, and that's something that's, you know, that's something that a lot of people overlook and don't really try enough of, is really talking to the deer, giving them something visual. And this time of year, it really works. I mean, I've done it now like 4 times where I've had a buck come into a decoy that I ended up killing. You know, but he came into that decoy, but he would have never came to that decoy if he hadn't heard something. It takes, you know, some visual and some audible information for that buck to make a decision to move off his bed, or, you know, if he's out cruising to come check it out. So, you know, I grunted here with my Timber Freaks game call. You know, 2 or 3 different occasions that I grunted, and I had one rattling sequence that I did, and that was it. And after that rattling sequence, about 10 minutes later I grunted, and it was about 15 minutes after that that he showed up. I probably wouldn't have even seen this deer last night if I hadn't have been using my call. I'm extremely excited. I've got one more tag in Missouri for the year. Hopefully I can put another one on the ground this year for Working Class Hunter. And you know, check us out. Be sure and subscribe to our Facebook page. And we've got great things coming, and just looking forward to another great season.